Hello, we are live. This is Slow Mo Joe's Timeless Poetry Show. Tonight, we read the prose and poetry from Rimbaud and Jim Morrison from the book from Wallace Fowlie. It is The Rebel as a Poet, a memoir. We're going to read some poetry from this. Should be good. Also, we are going to read poems from my other identity, Joseph Evaldi, from the poems Apparitions of a Warrior. Should be good. Now first, before we do this podcast of poems, we're going to do plugs. Then we're going to get into the show. And then we're going to do plugs. One plug in the middle. And plugs at the end. First, let me give a thanks to Richard Andrew Olcus and the shows of his network. And his characters has been a good support to the show. Check him out on Spreaker. They have very good shows. Also, I want to give a shout out to Bill and Mo's show. They do comedy, news, and other stuff. They're up and running again. Should be good. Also, I would like to support the brand. We have many good stuff on the podcasting, many good stuff on Amazon for Joseph Evaldi, and also check out Richard Andrew Olcus's books on Amazon. So without further ado, let me get to the show. I'm going to start out with this from the book of Wallace Fowlie, Rimbaud and Jim Morrison, The Rebel as a Poet, a memoir from that book. I'm going to read a little bit. This is on only page 108. This is from Jim Morrison's words. And I'm going to quote. "Oh, tell me where your freedom lies." The crystal ship, in parentheses. "I am a spy in the house of love." This quotation, parentheses, the spy. "I am changeling, see me change," parentheses, changeling. "I am the Lizard King," parentheses, celebration of the lizard. No one here gets out alive, parentheses, 5-1. Hello, I love you. Won't you tell me your name? Hello, I love you. I want to hear the scream of the butterfly when the music is over. When the music's over. This is the end, beautiful friend. The end. Break on through to the other side. Break on through. He's talking about transition here. And then after. See, many know what Jim Morrison added. He added a lot, and he was a poet. Genius with his words. He also says this in page 97. When the still sea conspires, true sailing is dead. The first animal is jetsoned, legs furiously pumping in mute nostril agony. Very good words. And I'm going to mention more. And this was part of a blues song that was sang. Been down so long. Well, I've been down so long, so goddamn long. Come on and set me free. Baby, won't you get down on your knee and give your love to me? Very good words. I'm gonna mention more. Going down as he was talking about the Vietnam War unending, as he lived in that time. Blood on the streets of the town of Chicago. Indians scattered on dawn's highways. Blood in the streets of the town of New Haven. That is from page 89 from this book called The Rebel is a Poet. I will read more at the end of this podcast. But first, before we do plugs, before we do anything, let me get to the poetry, my alter identity. Joseph Evaldi. He also wrote a poetry book. It is called Apparitions of a Warrior. I will read 2 poems from him. Lost Chronicle by Joseph Evaldi. Evil ones shed their evil minds. They always cause havoc and destroy one's happiness. Maybe it's truly time to do what I want. I am in the shadow of others. I face the battle of good and evil, but there always is a source of facing trouble. Some want to defeat it. Times have truly changed, but people haven't. They are jealous, they are envious, and they are out for themselves. From this, more rage builds, as much as it's called to be a favorite. Others should know the price of their fear. If they don't, then their fear will hurt them. As those people who are happy, they will laugh at the jealous. Beware, because that fear is the only thing that separates people from being who they are. That was The Lost Chronicle by Joseph Evaldi. Now, we get to another poem. Now, some poems may be repeated through the course of the show's entirety, but that's okay. Poems are meant to be read. They're meant to be expressed. Sure, it could be the same, but it could be used in a different context. And poetry could carry on that message. And a poetry lives as the poetry dawns through the night. Now, I'm going to read another poem by Joseph Evaldi. It is called Battle in a Confused World. I may have read this last season, but I'll read it again. Time just moves to find its place, and once it does, many will know their place. However will they follow, in search for loyalty and honor. One continues to serve and get betrayed. It is as if hell's fury begins to shine. The good guy becomes the villain. The heroes are made into saints. In it, evil eats away at him until he seeks the light and becomes good once again. Pain is the only answer for others. Now, I'm going to leave this first half, and I'm going to segue into the second half. I'm going to read a little bit of Rimbaud from that book, from Wallace Fowlie's The Rebel as a Poet, a memoir. First, let me run this clip from Evolution of the Squared Circle, the production of professional wrestling, narrated by Dickie Thomas. It's a book that was done a while ago. It's written by Joseph Evaldi.
The fans look forward to wrestling, and they are part of the show. It was just yesterday on WWE Raw that the wave broke out on TV, and they stopped wrestling. The fans are as much of the production as the wrestlers. It is us who influence the direction of wrestling, and they say what they wanted. I remember when I was at a WCW event, and I started a Sid chant to beat up an opponent. He was a heel at the time, but my chant made him a face, and it was heard on cable TV. I guess then I influenced the crowd at that time, and the crowd reacted. Crowds have been known to influence the direction of where the storylines go. At times, the wrestling promotion likes to swerve the crowd, an unanticipated twist in the storyline. Crowds are a part of the show. However,